Hi again, fellow unlicensed thinkers. I'm sure by now you figured out that I absolutely love synchronicities, and so that's sort of what we're going to talk about, although not the topic of this video. What happened is two things were brought to my attention at the same time, or around the same time, and it turns out they were connected. I didn't know that at the time until I started looking into it. One of those was a video request asking, why do some people just seem to get attacked all the time? Why do, like in an online forum or discussion, why is there that one person that's singled out and people just pile on top of them? Why are they so aggressively mean to them when it doesn't really make sense or it's absolutely uncalled for in the situation? Why does this happen? And then another person commented and said that I should look into or asked me what I knew about, and if I didn't know about that, I should look into the Heyoka Empath. Very interesting. I had never actually looked into it before. I'd seen it mentioned many times and just sort of never got around to it. I don't know why, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad it was brought up to me as something to look into because it turns out to be very relevant. But before we get into that too much, if you could hit the like button, thank you. It helps me out in the algorithm. I can't reach it, but I know you can. All right. So again, that's why do some people just get randomly attacked? Why are they a target for people to go after? Like why do they just get singled out and somebody hones right in on them and says, you know what, I'm going to go after them. I'm going to go after him. I'm going to go after her. And that really does have to do with being born a target, which takes me into the Heyoka Empath. So what is the Heyoka Empath? The Native Americans would call them the sacred clown. And we can think of the sacred clown in a lot of different ways. We can think of them as maybe the fool from Thoreau, the wise man, the court jester. Any of these things would fit into this idea of the sacred clown. And I kind of have a different take than a lot of the videos that I've seen on it. So I'm not making up my own. What I'm doing is I'm taking an amalgamation of the videos that I've watched on this topic and what I take from that. So do with that what you will, but I see the Heyoka Empath as the biggest guy in the room, the warrior class, the ones that were sort of born to take one for the team. And the Heyokas were born with a target on them, but this was necessary for their development. And this target comes in what I think of as the form of a mirror. And of course, we all know everyone hates seeing a mirror. They hate seeing themselves in somebody else. They hate seeing, well, really their own projections on other people. And so the Heyoka is really good at being that mirror, at showing people who they are. And like any target, the ones aiming for a target, the ones looking for a target, always find the ones with the target because that's just the natural flow of things. Sorry, buddy. You got a little too close that time. And so they don't choose to be born with this target. It just is what it is. They were born to be this thing, to be this punching bag, so to speak. And the reason I relate them to the biggest guy in the room is when somebody's got something to prove, they walk up to the biggest guy in the bar, the biggest guy in the room, the CEO, the manager, whoever it might be, the leader of a group, and they say, you know what, me and you, buddy, let's go. And that's what happens with the Heyoka Empath, is because they have that target on them, they become the biggest guy in the room. They are recognized for being that mirror. And the clown, and because they are called the sacred clown, the clown is the jester. They are the ones who are used to being attacked. In fact, they often make themselves available to be attacked because that is their station, that is their calling, that is just simply what they do. And so the jester over time develops an ability to roll with the punches, to take these attacks and just kind of blow them off or move out of the way of them and not be there when someone punches, as Ram Dass would say. So all of these attacks that they get make them better at being attacked. As horrible as that may sound, it makes them very good at it. They, like the biggest guy, the guy who's just born big. Well, everybody goes to him and says, hey, can you carry that thing for me? Can you pick that up for me? Can you lift this heavy thing? And so they do. And they get bigger and they get bigger and they get stronger. And very often, like I said before, they are the one who gets chosen out of when someone wants to prove themselves. They say, you know what, I'm looking for a fight. I want to make a name for myself, so I'm going to go attack the biggest guy. And so the biggest guy often becomes the best fighter, not because he wants to, just because he's the biggest guy. And that's what happens. When you get attacked enough times, you become a better fighter. But it also happens that they're the most well-equipped to be that better fighter because they are the biggest guy. So the Heyoka is often known as the dark empath, the one that lives in and sees places that others just don't see. And I mean places like the shadows, the darkness, the evil of the world, because they're exposed to it more. So does that make them a little bit more evil or jaded or prone to being, I don't want to say mean, the ability to take that impact, to have it be less eventful for them? Because they're exposed to it so often, they sort of become the darkness. They were born for that role. And you think of like people who go into the special forces. They're like the badasses. They can take anybody out, but that isn't necessarily who they are. It's who they have to be so that others don't have to be that, so that we don't have to be that. They go and they will kill people so that we don't have to. And that's wonderful. That's very noble of them to do that. Not all of us are cut out for that. Not all of us are capable of doing that. So we need them. Just like we need the Heyoka Empath. We need them to be the biggest guy in the room for us. Because they're like Jupiter. They take all these hits for us that we may never even notice. But they take them, they absorb them, they roll with them. Excuse me, they even sometimes fight back in our honor without us even knowing. Just like Jupiter. We don't know how many meteorites and comets and whatnot Jupiter has stopped. It just allows us to live in the relative peace that we have. So these Heyoka, they take on this burden of darkness for us. They learn to not mind being attacked because they say, I'm going to take one for the team. Since I'm the biggest guy here, I can take this guy on. And if I don't take him on, he's going to go and fight somebody else who he might hurt, but he's not going to hurt me. So I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to be the warrior class. I'm going to take that impact so that someone else doesn't have to. And that's not just physically, that's online. So that brings me around to my friend who asked, why is it that some people get attacked all the time? And this is why. It's because you can take it. It's because you have a target on you. It's because you are strong enough to take it. And this happens to me very often. I'll be in an online thread having a discussion. Very often nothing about what someone attacks me for. But sometimes in the thread, there'll be, whatever, I'm going to make up a number, but 20 people in the thread that all said the same thing that I said. But I look and there's no comments on those other people. The comments, the attacks, come towards me. And I used to think that was horrible. Why are you coming after me? Now I take it as a compliment. And I say, that's fantastic that I get the honor of being the one that protects all of these other people from being attacked. I get to have the honor of being the special forces, of being Jupiter, protecting these other people. Because if this person who needs a target for their anger or whatever it is, if they attacked someone else, they might hurt their feelings. They might ruin that person's day. They might cause them some sort of trauma. But when they attack me, I really don't mind so much, because I know that it's not me that they're attacking anyways, but that's a topic for another day. That has to do with shadow work and what it is that people are motivated to do and why they do it, and I'm not going to cover that in this video, but I just know that they come after me because I have been trained to take it. I have been born with that target on me, and I can either accept that target or I can be angry that I got this target on me. But it is what it is. So I accept it. And for anyone who feels like they get attacked all the time, or who has evidence of getting attacked all the time, being that one who is singled out, think about that for a moment, that you are a protector. You are the one taking that hit so that someone else doesn't have to. So that person who is attacking, their attention can only be put in one place at a time. And so at least for that moment, at least for that interaction, you are stopping somebody else from getting attacked. And they're coming after you because you have the target on you. And you are strong because you have the target on you. So you can take that attack. You can roll with that punch. And you can be that special forces, that Heyoka, that takes one for the team, that protects everybody else. So when someone attacks you, consider it a compliment and consider it an honor to take that on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be sure to hit like and share the video. Have a great day.